What's up, chess fans and fellow board warriors? Ajit Samanta here. Today, I'm not just analyzing a game, I'm taking you inside my head for one of my recent battles on chess.com. I was playing as black against a tough opponent. This game got wild, tactical, and ended with a bang. Let's relive it. So, my opponent started with f4, the bird's opening. I saw this and thought, okay, not the usual e4 or d4. My opponent wants to mix things up and attack the king side. I decided to play d6. Just a solid, flexible response, keeping my options open, ready to react whatever white throws at me. White pushed their e-pawn to e4, grabbing the central space, and my immediate reaction was e5, directly challenging the center. This is my way of saying, alright, if you are going to playing on the flanks, I am taking the middle. It often leads to sharp, exciting positions. White reinforced their center with d3. I just focused on good development, knights out to f6 and c6. Getting my pieces into the game and putting some pressure on White's center. Here is where it got interesting. Instead of dealing with the tension, my opponent pushed f5. This felt a bit ambitious to me. It gains space, sure, but that f5 pawn looks like it could become weak later, and it definitely weakens the square around their king if the castle's short. And my response was instant d5. You push forward on the flank, I am breaking open the center and challenging that advanced pawn. This move created immediate tension and complex possibilities. My opponent developed the bishop to g5, pinning my knight. I decided to ignore the pin for a moment and push further in the center d4, getting more space, kicking the knight and creating a strong central pawn. I felt like I was getting a dynamic advantage here. White, White undermined my d4 pawn with c3. I played natural developing move bishop e7. White captured on d4 and I was ready to recapture with my e pawn. E takes d4. Now I have this powerful advanced d4 pawn, a real thorn in White's side. My opponent pushed e5, attacking my knight. This pawn push felt like another overextension. My knight smoothly moved to knight g4, a great outpost. Knight to g4, a great outpost ready to cause trouble, and I that juicy f2 square. White developed their dark squared bishop, and I thought, okay, that f5 pawn is hanging. I'm taking it. Bishop takes f5, sacrificing my dark squared bishop for the pawn, and opening up the position. I felt this was worth it to expose White's king side and get my pieces active. My opponent prepared to castle with bishop e2, but I had a little check in mind. Bishop b4 check, just a small tactic to disrupt their plans and gain a tempo. White blocked the check with bishop d2, and now the other knight joins the feast. Knight g takes e4. Knight g takes e5. That forward e5 pawn was just asking to be taken. I now had both of my knights beautifully placed or ready to jump. White took my bishop on b4, and Here was a key moment. I played knight takes f3 check, a knight sacrifice that felt absolutely right. It demolishes white's kingside pawn structure and brings my attack crashing in. Calculation told me this would lead to a winning position. My opponent had to take my knight with the bishop. Bishop takes f3 and bishop takes f3 and I recaptured on b4 with my other knight. Knight takes b4. After that, after the dust settled from that sequence, I was technically down a knight for a pawn, but looked at the board. White's king is wide open and their pawns are messed up and my pieces are perfectly positioned to attack. My opponent tried to snatch my pawn on b7, perhaps hoping for complications, but I had another trick to up my sleeve. Knight takes d3, check. Sacrifice number 2. This knight lands on a perfect square, a killer fork, forcing the king to move and exposing everything. White's king is running for its life. King f1. There is nowhere safe to go. Taking the knight was out of my question. Now my pieces are working together like a dream team. Rook b8. My rook immediately attacks that standard uh, bishop on b7. Everything has tempo and purpose. My opponent desperately tried to get their bishop to safety and check me. Bishop c6 check. But my king calmly stepped into f8. King f8, just settling in thanks. The king, the attack is coming. White defend the bishop and I played g6. And I played g6. Maybe preparing to bring the dark squared bishop back or just making a little breathing room. My focus was on coordinating my minor piece. On my major piece. My opponent pushed their h-pawn. I ignored it. I ignored it and brought the big gun into the attack, queen to f6. My queen is now lining up and threatening the weak spots around their king and adding massive pressure. White offered a queen trade on queen f3, and I said absolutely not. King g7, my queen is an attacking machine. In this position, I need her for the knockout blow. Moving my king just solidifies the position further. My opponent centralized their bishop and brought the other rook into the action. Rook h to e8. Rook to e8 means I just brought the rook into action. Rook to e8. Both rooks are now are on open or semi-open files ready to strike. My pieces are active. Activity is through the roof. White tried to bring the knight into a play. I centralized my d-rook as well, rook b to d8. My rooks and queen are perfectly coordinated, ready to deliver the final sequence. White moved their bishop to c4. And then I saw it. They moved to finish the game. Rook to e8. That trapped the queen. So my opponent resigned. What a thrilling game! I love how I was able to punish the early flank aggression and exposed king by breaking in the center and bringing my pieces to the attack. Those knight sacrifices were key to opening lines and disrupting White's defenses. This game really highlights the power of peace activity and coordinating your forces against the enemy king. I hope you enjoyed seeing the game from my perspective. If you did, smash that like button, it really helps the channel. Subscribe for more of my games and chess content. And let me know in the comments what you thought of my attack or if you have played a similar game. Thanks for watching and I will catch you in the next video.